The twin town in Brazil that baffled geneticists. Subscribe to the channel to get all the latest. Cindo Godoy is the kind of place that makes scientists pause and storytellers grin, a quiet farming town on the Argentine border where, for generations, babies have been born in surprising pairs. Walk its lanes and you'll overhear the same surnames repeating, see photographs of mirror image faces on mantles, and find neighbors who jokingly say twins are just part of the family portrait. The numbers are what first turned curiosity into investigation. In one neighborhood, Linhaço Pedro, studies recorded twin birth rates that climbed as high as roughly 10% of births, several times the regional average, and researchers counted scores of twin pairs across decades of local church registers. That spike was real enough to draw geneticists, epidemiologists, and journalists from around the world. So what explains a tiny village producing so many doubles? The clearest answer begins with history. This town was founded by a small group of immigrants, many of German or Polish descent, and families intermarried in a relatively closed community. When a population starts from a limited number of founders, rare genetic variants can become common by chance, a phenomenon called the founder effect. In plain terms, when the family tree is narrow, unusual family traits can echo through generations. But genetics is not a single, simple switch. Over the last decade, scientists have looked for specific biological players that might nudge a pregnancy toward twins. Some studies found that certain versions of genes involved in fertility and embryo development, for example, particular variants of genes that help regulate cell growth and reproduction, appear more often in mothers who had twins in this community. Those genetic differences don't force twin births. They seem to raise the odds subtly, interacting with family history, chance, and environment. Alongside sober science, a wilder story took hold in the headlines that a notorious Nazi doctor had somehow engineered the twin boom during a post-war visit. The rumor was sensational and scary, and it spread because people love a dramatic cause. But careful historical and statistical work showed the timing, records, and genetic patterns didn't support that claim. The evidence points to ancestry, isolation, and ordinary inheritance, not sinister experiments. The myth says a lot about how we invent explanations when a mystery feels too strange to be natural. To tell this story on screen, imagine opening on a slow pan of family photographs, matching smiles, matching eyes. Then cut to maps and the quiet fields of the town, an explanation of the numbers, and a simple diagram that shows how a founder effect works. Spend a minute on the human side, a local grandmother's voice, a midwife's memory, then move into the science with clear visuals of genes and how small shifts in frequency can change outcomes over generations. Keep the tone curious, never sensational. Present the myth and then calmly show why the research points elsewhere. End with a close that is both humble and wondrous. Genetics and history have given this town a rare signature, but the real marvel is ordinary life repeating itself, family recipes, names, and stories until the pattern becomes visible. Cindo Godoy remains a living reminder that our bodies carry ancestry, and our communities carry the clues. Science has explained much, but walking those streets you still feel the quiet mystery of many faces that look like mirrors and the long, ordinary story of how people, genes, and chance meet.